All right, we're back. Cincinnati semi-final day, and we have the second semi-final for the ladies to find out who's going to play Swiatek in the final. It's between Kudermetova, who in recent years has struggled. She was sort of a top 10 player a couple of years ago and around the, making semi-finals of these tournaments consistently, but not lately. And obviously Paolini, top 10. She's trying to get extra points so she can stay in the top 10 for the rest of the year and maybe try and push towards the WTA finals. They played 4 times, 3-1 in favor of Kudermetova, which is kind of interesting. Of course, we just watched yesterday or a couple of days ago. We watched the match between Gauff and Paolini, which was not the greatest match to watch, but Paolini got the win. She's won all matches against Gauff this year, apparently. I saw a stat for that. Paolini's also beaten Krejcikova, Sakkari, and Kruger as well. She didn't have to play Gauff and then she did play Gauff in the quarterfinals. And Kudermetova, she has beaten Bencic, Towson, Linette, and then Gracheva in the quarters, who was also having a bit of a run. So Kudermetova's had a good week too, beaten some really, really tough opponents too. It's not like she's had the easiest draw. But let me have a look at what the matches have been lately. So they haven't played for 3 years. They played in Cincinnati 4 years. Cincinnati 2021 was the last time they played, and Kudermetova won straight sets. 2019 Australian Open was a 3-setter for Kudermetova, and that was in the qualies. So it's been a long time since they've played. A lot's happened. Both have reached the top 10 since then, and also Paolini has obviously made it to finals of Slam. So it's been a long time since they've played. So I don't know if we can really look at the 3-1 head-to-head. The only thing that matters in that is that there's a confidence for Kudermetova coming into this. But so much has happened since then. I don't know if, especially anything before like 2020, I don't think that really matters. The last match matters, but also Paolini 2021 was not this player. Now, Paolini did kind of twist her ankle in the Gauff match, but she seemed okay. She has been playing a lot of doubles as well this week, Paolini, so very busy week. So we'll keep an eye on whether or not any of that makes any difference. In Poland, you can have to pay around $20 to watch WTA. Yeah, but I mean, if you watch all of the WTA, it's worth it. If you watch one player, depends how much you love them. Yeah. All right. 1 minute, and then we will get this started. Let's see how the match plays out. Swiatek is officially qualified for the WTA finals today. Hey! Love that. Love that. Love that. Kudermetova won the toss and elected to receive, so Paolini will serve first. All right. Jasmine in 3, you reckon? Yeah. Is it going to rain? It may rain. Yeah, there's been rain around. What was the crowd like for this game? They did step out after that first set, which is a first match, which normally happens for lunch. People go for lunch and stuff, but I'm sure they'll be back once this match starts. So it's going. All right. But here we go. Paolini's going to serve. Let's see what happens. All right, so the schedule for tomorrow's come out. So, thank you, Dutchie. 3 p.m. men's final, 6 p.m. ladies final. There you go. All right. Paolini to serve. I'm going to go Paolini in 3. Paolini in 3. Is my prediction. By the way, chat, it is so cold here in Australia. It is icy. It's going to be -1 apparently overnight tomorrow night. So tomorrow when we're watching the finals, I'm going to be wearing gloves, a beanie, jacket, snow gear. I'm going to be so rugged up. 15 love. There's a bit of double fault from Paolini, 15-0. I can just feel my hands just, they're so cold. I'll trade, you can have 90 degrees. Nope. No, thank you. You can keep that hot weather. I'll keep the cold. I like this. I like this weather. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's got to be cold. I'm not mad. 30-15. We had a fault second serve. As a return goes in the back into Paolini. 4 now from Kudermetova. As Paolini goes again, the forehand to Kudermetova. Paolini again to the forehand to Kudermetova, but Kudermetova hits a wide, 40-15. Kudermetova's wearing a hat. That is all. 40-15. As we nice out wide. And it is 1-0. Paolini holds. Hopefully the cold weather will thin out those giant bugs. Maybe. Okay. Back to Kudermetova. Let's see what she can do. All right, Kudermetova to serve. A bit of fault, second serve. As Kudermetova hits a forehand winner away. It's 15 love. $15. Thank you. Did you hear that? I left the room because I didn't want to sneeze. 15-0. The return goes out by Paolini. 30-15. 30-15. Kudermetova serves again. $30-15. As a default, second serve. As a 4 on the stretch from Paolini in the net, 40-15. $40-15. As we serve again. Second serve. As the return goes out by Paolini, 1-1. There's definitely not many people in the stadium because it's very quiet. Very quiet. It's a very quiet crowd at the moment. All right, Paolini serves a let. As the return goes into the net from Kudermetova, 15-love. As the return goes back into Paolini, back into Kudermetova. The back into Paolini, Kudermetova back into the net. 30-love. Serve again, the back into Kudermetova. Paolini forehand winner. 40-love. Love. All right. Paolini holds 2-1. Okay. Paolini with the lead. 2-1. I'm not surprised the stadium's empty. Yeah, look, usually after the first... Between matches, there's usually always a bit of a lull from the crowd. They'll come in now. Also, it doesn't help that the first match was the match that I guess everybody was more interested in than this one. Got the burrito, Cam. No, I didn't get a burrito yesterday, unfortunately. But today might be the day. Today might be the day that I get a burrito. I had a busy day today. I got a lot of chores I have to do. A lot of things I have to do. So I'm going to go and maybe go get a burrito and then start my day. What did I get? I didn't get anything. I stayed home and ate nothing. Paolini has similarities with Swiatek in terms of all-round game, but 1 or 2 levels below. Yeah, but also like power. She's not as strong. Doesn't hit the balls hard. Pineapple pizza, duh. No, I just ate what I had in the cupboard. Eggs and chicken. Are you playing any video games now? No, I'm not at the moment. I haven't played any. I'm not on any games at the moment. Been watching too many. I've got so many movies and stuff to watch. That's what I've been doing instead, just chilling. I watched season 2 of Veep. That show is so funny. And then I watched Gremlins 2, which I didn't realize was how like Gremlins 1 is like when you haven't watched it for a while, you're like, holy shit, how's this a kid's movie? And then Gremlins 2 is like next level. Can't wait for the weapons. Yeah, we'll talk about weapons next week when everyone's seen it. But I've got so many things I've got to watch. So I've just been doing that. Streaming and watching movies and sleeping. And thrifting every now and again. 15 love. As that backhand goes wide by Paolini. 30 love. We've got a lot of... Today is a day of chores. I need to do the chores that I've been avoiding for weeks. I need to do the chores. I need to do the stuff that nobody likes to do. My house is a mess. As that forehand goes wide on the volley from Kudermetova, 30-15. Yeah, careful. I haven't cleaned since I cut my finger. And that was the day that I was trying to get everything done. and then instead I had to go to the hospital. So 3 weeks I've been waiting to get back get everything done. It's been 3 weeks. I haven't been able to do anything. But now that I'm sort of back on my finger's okay, I can do something. 40-15. Haircut before chores. Just kidding. Yeah. No, I'm not getting a haircut. Good excuse. Yeah, it's a good excuse if you have someone else to help you do the chores and you go, I can't help you, and then they do the chores instead. But when you live alone, when you live with a dog and the dog doesn't vacuum, it's very hard. It's not fun. 2-0. So today is the day of chores. Once this match is over. All right. I'm so lazy when it comes to chores. Yeah, when I just put headphones on and then just start, then things get done. But I just got to organize. And it's the only time I can for now because we got obviously US Open coming up. And that's going to take all the time over the next couple of weeks. But forehand to forehand rally. As Paolini puts a forehand in the net. 15. I love 15. You sound like the fun police now with the chores talk. I don't mind. Look, I don't mind cleaning up and organizing things. I don't think it's boring. It's not. Would I rather do other things? Yeah, but it's like I like the feeling of accomplishment you get when you clean something up and you're like, everything looks great now. Oh, great. And you kind of I'm looking around my house and I'm like, man, there's just shit everywhere. I need to put things in drawers and move things around so that it's not just piles of stuff. That's today. I'm just gonna organize things. As the return goes out by Kudermetova. Yeah, declutter. Yeah. I got to do that too. I got to go through everything and be get rid of clothes that I don't need. Yeah, get rid of things I don't need. I got so much I bought a new bookshelf, so the old one just sitting there, just in the way. I also have to go to the hardware store and buy some tools because I need to I need to build something. 30-15 as that goes wide by Kudermetova. 40-15. I love the clarity I get from when I declutter the house. Yeah. I got to go through all my DVDs as well and just see which ones I don't need anymore that I've watched them, you know? There's a lot of movies that I've already watched that I'm like, I don't need to keep this. So now I need to like, you know, purge the collection and put away the ones that I don't want or the ones that I don't watch, just, you know, and then put the ones like in a pile where I like haven't watched yet. Paolini holds 3-2 because I've just got like a mountain of movies and I'm like, okay, I just got to like go, okay, keep that one. All right, I saw that one. I'm not going to watch it again. I'll give that one back, and then go. Okay, I haven't watched that one. Put that on the pile of next ones to watch. Right. I've got so many. Yeah. You know what I should do? I should like upload them onto my computer, because that way I can give them back, and then if I ever want to watch, you know, them again, I can I have them, but maybe that's what I should do eventually. Eventually. First, declutter between your ears. I'm sorry. Why? It clutters up the computer. True. Who watched one movie more than 40 times? I don't know about 40, but there's definitely movies that I'll watch, like comfort movies and shit, like for sure. Just because you've seen it doesn't. Like, I've watched Guardians of the Galaxy heaps of times. You know, that's one of my go-to movies. Avengers: Infinity War, watched that a ton of times. Even though you know what's going to happen, you still just want to like watch it. DVD in today's age, bro. You're not watching DVDs. You're not getting DVDs or CDs in this age. Oh my God, in the streaming age, you're not doing that. You're crazy. That's crazy. What, you hate quality? Oh my God, really? Jeez. You like watching blurry, compressed, and listen to compressed, shitty music, and not the actual like quality. Okay, fine. If you don't like quality, fair enough. Dude's coming to ask me while I'm buying DVDs. Why are you not? Oh my God, it's crazy. Bro likes watching blurry movies. That's crazy. God, I'm become a snob. 15 love. Oh no. 15 love. I've turned into a hipster. I need to grow a mustache. 15 love. And we serve it wide the back end of Paolini. Return goes in. But Kudermetova puts away the smash. $30 love. $30 love. As Kudermetova serves again. The return goes in the forehand of Kudermetova. Now a backhand for Kudermetova to the forehand of Paolini. Paolini forehand again. Goes out. 40 love. $40 love. Agree with you, Cam. DVDs. Also, I'm convinced they're ultra stream movies on Apple, the color and sound. Yeah, I think hasn't that been proven? That they're like, the quality of movies on streaming services is not as high. Not to mention, they do alter content or delete episodes of series and stuff. Like, that's been proven, you know. So if you want the original thing, you need to buy it. You need to have it on in its original form, you know. Otherwise, they could. I think the big thing is, like, if you love a movie and you're like, it's on this streaming service, there is nothing to stop that movie from disappearing from that service and having to go somewhere else, and you have to go somewhere else, right? That's the worst part. When you're like, oh, I love that movie, and then you're like, oh, but now it's not on Netflix? Where the hell is it? And then you got to find it. And then you got to pay for it more, and yeah. You got to. That's why just buy it. Go to a thrift store, get $1, find a movie. I have a DVD player. 30 love. As a return goes nowhere because it was an ace. 40 love. $40 love. Oh, my hands are so cold. You know when you get your feet and hands get cold and then you just can't warm them up? That's where I'm at right now. My bones are cold. As that goes out by Kudermetova, 4-3 Paolini. All right, 4-3. 4-3. Hot water bottle? I don't have one of those. All right, 4-3. 4-3. Winner plays Swiatek, who is into the final. All right. Is Irani in the stands? Yep. Is Paolini in the final of the dubs, or did they lose? Because I know she was playing the doubles as well. They lost yesterday. So that probably is not terrible for her, because it means that she can focus everything into winning this title, and she'll need it. But they lost in the semis. Paolini and Irani, who are going to be playing doubles together for a while. They've been playing doubles for a while. Cool. Thank you for the $2. Watch out for this version. She runs on fast hard courts. Yeah, her game is starting to suit these surfaces for sure. All right, 4-3. As we're backhand out from Paolini to the backhand of Kudermetova. Paolini backhand again, the backhand of Kudermetova. Kudermetova, it's wide. Love 15. Love 15. As Kudermetova comes to net and puts it away. Puts it out. All right, love 30. Love 30. Chance for Paolini here. Love 30. As Paolini hits a great return. Kudermetova hits a wide. Love 40. Love 40. As Kudermetova serves. As the return goes to forehand of Kudermetova. Forehand from Paolini. It's Kudermetova forehand again to the forehand of Paolini. Into the forehand of Kudermetova. Paolini again to the Kudermetova forehand. She hits it out. There's the break. That came out of nowhere. That came out of nowhere. Paolini was playing. It was Kudermetova was solid, and then all of a sudden, love 40 break. And Kudermetova is in trouble. Paolini going to serve the first set. Let on the first serve. As the return goes in the backhand of Paolini. Backhand of Kudermetova goes long. 15 love. 15 love. As the return goes in the forehand of Paolini. Forehand from Kudermetova to the backhand of Paolini. It's Kudermetova forehand. Again, the forehand of Paolini to the forehand of Kudermetova. She overhits it. 30 love. 30 love. $30 love. As Kudermetova hits a return winner. 30-15. Paolini serves again. A fault. Second serve. The return goes in the net from Kudermetova, 40-15. 2 set points. 40-15. Paolini to take the first set. As the return goes in the net, and there it is. 6-3. First set to Paolini. Pretty easily in the end there. All right, 6-3. Where did this trend of every tennis player starting a YouTube channel come from? I don't know. Anyways, 4 winners and 20 errors from Kudermetova. 5 winners and 9 errors from Paolini. Only 1 break point in that entire set for either player, and it went to Paolini. Probably from Dasha. Yeah, Dasha definitely started. She as in professional tennis players for sure. Dasha was definitely the first. But I'm gonna be honest, like the thing that makes Dasha's videos and contents like really good is the fact that it is just like super raw. Like it's not, it's edited, but it's not like, it's not like professionally, it's not like professionally, it's not cinematic. It's not anything that it's not. It's just filming on a hand camera. It's like how we just, people film their everyday lives, right? It's just not, it's like, whereas I'm not a big fan of like the really professional vlog. Like I don't watch the Sinner vlogs, or the Sinner content, because it's just like, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like like Sinner's walking around with a camera. Like it doesn't feel like a vlog. It feels like a documentary, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. I haven't watched Sabalenka's yet, but I don't know if that's any different or if it's like I don't know. There's just something different about Dash's one that just feels a little more. It doesn't feel like they're doing it. Like she felt like she was doing it for fun, and then now it's like become a really interesting part of her thing, her career, and it makes it interesting for us to see it behind the scenes. It doesn't feel like there was like a team that came up with the idea and like, okay, we're going to get an editor, we're going to get this, and we're going to get that, and it doesn't feel produced. I haven't seen Sabalenka's though, so maybe Sabalenka's is a little bit more like Dasher, but I don't really watch the Sinner stuff because it just looks like a documentary. Like, okay. But also, like every player has a channel because it's an extra revenue. You can bring in extra if it does well, or it's something you can do later. I mean, celebrities. I mean, look at Cristiano Ronaldo started a YouTube channel. I mean, like it's just, athletes are starting to do them because they know it's something people want to see first, right? People want to see, her fans want to see that stuff, and Sinner's fans want to see him as much as they can, and so it's like a. But it also is like a, it's just like, why do they all have Instagrams? Why do they all have, they have every other social media. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of like the super produced stuff. I'd rather be a little bit more raw. So it feels like we're actually getting an insight rather than it just being like a professional camera crew or following someone around. It's like, okay, cool. Doesn't feel personal. It's personal, Whereas Dasher holding a camera and talking to somebody with a camera in their face, yeah, that feels like you're there. You're like, she's taking you with her, 30-15. But again, that's just what I like. Maybe you guys love the all of it, But you get to see him chop tomatoes. Oh, really? Okay, change my mind. That's crazy. That's amazing. Yeah, it's to connect with fans and to show like a behind the scenes of their life. There's a lot of lower ranked players that do it too. There's not just the high top 10 players. I mean, there's a lot of players that are doing the challenger circuit that are filming their experiences, and showing the behind the scenes of their life as a challenger player or as a top, a low top 100 player, right? A couple of the Aussies are doing that as well. So yeah, why don't I start a vlog? Because my life is boring and I'm live all the time. So you don't need me to do a vlog. You see me all the time. What would I vlog? Me streaming? Why would I vlog that? 40-15. It's good to be so set. Like, what do you need? You don't need a vlog. What, you want me to vlog me sitting on a couch? I'm sitting in a chair. You can see it right now. 40-15. The backhand in the net from Kudermetova, 40-30. 40-30. All right, 40-30. As Kudermetova serves again. As the return goes in the backhand of Kudermetova. And she hits a backhand winner. All right, 1-0 on the second. Thrift shop vlogging. No, I don't want to. I don't want to turn that in. I like the reason why I like going to the thrift is I just get it's like a peace and quiet. I don't want to have to then go there and like feel the need to film it and then like even though it might be probably the most interesting thing I do. But it's, I don't know. I don't really want to be carrying a camera around and then have to edit a video and make it. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to just go there and find shit and then tell you about it on stream. A cam vlog would be awesome. It really wouldn't. Trust me, it would be very boring. It would be wake up, stream for 8 hours, finish stream, maybe go outside if I need to get some food, take Mia around, and then if I have a moment, maybe I'll go to a thrift store, and then I come home and go to sleep. It's very, very, very normal, very boring. Very, very, not boring, like normal boring, but it's like very straightforward. There's not much going on. And then that just happens every day. That's just rinse, repeat. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. First serve is a fault, second serve. I would actually watch Cam in a thrift store. Well, look, if tennis doesn't work out, then maybe I will. 15 love. As with a 4-4 rally. Down the line from Paolini goes wide, and it's 15 all. All right, 15 all. As the return goes in the net from Kudermetova, 30-15. Cam, how do you feel about taking selfies with players? Do you support that? I'm from a time where an autograph is just fine. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather an autograph than a selfie, to be honest. I think an autograph is more. Well, I don't know. Look, the selfie is like the autograph. Like, cause it's sad these days. It's like, hey, I got the autograph. It's like, yeah, but did you actually see them, or did you just make that up? Like, you got to prove it. People don't believe if you don't have a photo. Did it happen? Like, so that's a little bit annoying. But I mean, look, I don't mind I don't mean people taking selfies. Like, selfies might be more personal. You know, it might be a more personal thing. You know, but I prefer autographs. But that's because I collect them, right? I collect tennis stuff, right? Whereas if I met a player that I'd already had their autograph, I'd probably ask for a photo. I'd get a selfie, you know. So if I ran into Leighton Hewitt again, well, actually no, when I ran into Leighton Hewitt in 2019, I got a photo with him because I had already had an autograph. So I didn't I'd already got his autograph before. So I'm like, oh well, I'll get a photo with him because that's huge, right? That's with my tennis hero, right? So if I ran into Roger Federer, I'd probably get a photo. But if I met Rafa, I'd get a signed tennis ball because I haven't got one of those. When we ran into Alcaraz, I was getting a ball signed. I didn't want to get him on camera. Like, I wasn't going to film me. Like, when we vlogged the Australian Open the other 2 years ago, it wasn't about getting Carlos and me on camera together. It was I wanted to get the ball signed. But if I had a signed ball already, I would have asked maybe for a photo. So I don't know. For me, it just depends. But then some people, I guess, photos are more a photo with your hero is huge. That's a huge deal for a lot of people. So I don't mind that. It depends on what you want, you know. It depends on what you want, you know. Yeah, if you met them already, I'll get a selfie, got it. Yeah, that's how I would. That's how I do. I'd rather get the autograph because it's part of my collection. But if you don't collect that stuff, you're probably better off getting the photo because then forever you can show that photo and be like, I met, my hero, right? Or whatever. You know. So a selfie's good. I don't mind that. 15 love. As we had a let from Kudermetova. 15 love. How much are movies at your thrift? Between $1 and $3 usually. It's usually $3 on the high end, and $1. Usually $1 is. I try and go for $1. If I can find movies for $1, I'll dig through the bins and look for the movies. But if they're $3, even if it's something I want, it's like I'll usually hang out for like $1. I have a system that I don't want to spend. And if it's a movie I can never find, I'll pay for like $5 for it. Like I'll buy stuff. I bought a couple of movies that I really want that I can't find anywhere, and I'm never going to find them at the thrift. So I'll buy them online. But yeah, usually I try not to get anything. If I get $1 movie, it's a steal. Like I'm like, yes. I'm more likely to buy a bunch of dollar DVDs than like spend that much. That's kind of my limit. Or $2 is all right. But if it's $1, put in the bag. Chuck in the bag. I'll dig through that bin and I'll try and find like 10 movies. How about a gaming channel? Nah. No, I don't want to do that. All right, 30-15. Was it a 4 down line of the slice of Kudermetova? Paolini comes in with a slice backhand winner. That was a great pickup by Paolini at the net. 30-0. Do you know when the US mixed doubles draw is happening? I think it happens today. So Sinner has not, as far as we know, reapplied for the mixed. So I don't think Sinner's playing the mixed doubles because he had until 2 p.m. today to come in with a new partner, and we haven't heard anything. So I'm guessing he's not playing. So the draw's going to come out today because that's why they gave him the deadline. Because remember, tomorrow is Cincinnati finals, but then the day after that is the US Open double. So it's going to be probably this afternoon or today. Maybe after this match it might come out. So I'm guessing. Or it might come out tomorrow. But it feels like they gave Sinner the deadline for a reason. And I think it's because they want to get the draw done tonight or today so that then tomorrow they can figure out if there's any withdrawals, if they have to redo stuff, and then Tuesday it starts. So I'm going to say it probably comes out some point today. And if it came out in the next 5 minutes, I would look like I was working for the US Open and I was just pretending like I didn't know. But I don't know. But I also think let's see what happens. All right, 40-30. Backhand rally. There's a 400 from Paolini, the backhand of Kudermetova. That's a winner, and it's 2-1 Kudermetova in the second. Are you doing the ranking show tomorrow? No, so I'll do the ranking show after the women's final. So yeah, tomorrow. The ranking show comes out tomorrow. It'll be a day late, but that's just because of all the madness that's going on. Chat, we've lost 2 days. Usually what happens is Cincinnati on a Sunday, US Open the following Monday, and we get a whole week. But this time, we lose a day because Cincinnati's on a Monday. The US Open comes forward a day, and then we've got 2 mixed doubles days. So it's like the schedule's just gone to shit. Usually we get a whole week off before we get to the next one. But this week, we'll be watching the US Open all of a sudden, we'll be watching the US Open. Draw comes out at the end of the week. Yeah, super busy. There is no rest. No time to rest. Even though I like Navarro, pretty lame to bail on Sinner last minute. Yeah, but I think he would have bailed anyway. I don't think Sinner would have played the mixed doubles. Because if he really wanted to play the mixed doubles, he would have found a new partner to play with. So I don't think he really was that keen either. I don't think he was that bothered. So unless he was really upset about it, I wouldn't get upset on his behalf. I think that happens. That happens a lot. People getting upset when, just in things, that for no reason. Do they care about it? No? Okay, well then why are you upset? All right, 2-1. So I wouldn't be getting too upset over Sinner's. I don't think Sinner feels. I think Sinner's fine. I don't think he's crying. Also, Navarro's. She needs form before the US Open. tennis is not a team sport. So she got to do what she's got to do. She has to play. She has to get form before the US Open so she can keep her ranking. And that's fair enough. That's totally understandable. She doesn't owe anyone anything. Sinner's not going to help her get ranking points, so why does she need to play doubles? You know, that's not going to help her singles. So. Yep, the whole mixed doubles is 2 days, over 2 days. Day 1, crazy. Day 2, nighttime finals. It's going to be fun. We'll watch it. We'll see what it looks like. We'll discuss whether or not it comes back the next year. Whether it's a good idea, bad idea, bit of both. 30 love. We'll talk about all of those things while we watch it. Mixed doubles draw is supposed to come out at 4 p.m. There you go. And that is in like the next 5 minutes, right? All right, 30-15. As a return goes in the net from Kudermetova, 40-15. When did I start supporting Leighton? Were you old enough to remember when he was number 1? No, I didn't see him. So I didn't start watching tennis until 2003. That was my first memory of watching tennis, as Paolini holds 2-0. And I watched Davis Cup 2003 semi-final, Switzerland, Australia. That was the first time I remember watching, like sitting down and actually watching tennis. I was playing tennis before that, but I'd been doing tennis lessons before that. But it was the first time. We always had tennis in the house, though. I mean, you know, during Australian Open and stuff. Like my mum was like played tennis. You know, she played tennis. We always had tennis on during the Australian Open, but when I remember watching tennis was that I remember watching Philippoussis play in the Davis Cup in that tournament, and then in 2004 was watching the Australian Open a little bit, and Leighton was obviously our best chance, and then sort of watched tennis in 2004 as best I could, because in 2004 it's very hard to watch tennis without the internet, like, you know, no streaming, right? So it's just whatever was on TV. And then I remember 2004 Wimbledon I remember watching Roddick and Federer in the final, and I remember staying up late because it was like the school holidays, so I could stay up late because I didn't have school, and watching that final. And watching Leighton as well in that tournament. And then 2005 was when I got super into tennis, watching everything going crazy. And then here we are. 30-15. So yeah. So really Leighton, like the reason why I got in Leighton is my favorite, was because when I started watching tennis, he was Australia's best chance. But then also watching Leighton, I loved the way he played. The way he fired everybody up, got the crowd involved, the shouting, the screaming, all that stuff. So fun. All right, ace down the tee. 40-15. I'm going to let. Serve again from Kudermetova to stay in front. As we default, second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Paolini. Kudermetova Into the back of Paolini. Again, the forehand of Kudermetova. Kudermetova's out, 40-30. Similar Cam getting into tennis. My mum always had Wimbledon on back in the Billie Jean and Virginia Wade days. Then I got hooked on Borg and McEnroe. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember. Again, I'm sure we had tennis on before. Like, I'm sure I could. I mean, I can't remember. I was too young to remember, but I'm sure that my mum had the tennis on in January in the 90s, probably. But I just can't remember it. I don't even. I have to ask my parents. When was the first time we went to the tennis? Like, when was the first time they took us to the tennis? I'm sure it was around that time too. All right, Deuce. But it's really funny. So there's, so I remember. So there's this funny story that happened in my family with the tennis. My grandma and my auntie took the day off work, called in sick, and they went to the tennis. I think it was in Kooyong. I think they might have gone to Kooyong. It's way back. And they got photographed at the tennis, and it was in the paper the next day. and when my auntie went back to work the next day, and everybody, because it was back then when, there weren't computers, it was, people read the paper. People were see her in the paper at the tennis the day before. Busted. So yeah, so be careful if you go to the tennis. Chuck a sickie. Don't get on camera, right? You gotta watch out. All right, advantage Paolini. Be careful. Maybe just wear wear disguise. No, she didn't get fired. It's not that serious. But yeah. Just be careful. If you chuck a sticky, be careful. Anyway, that goes out. That goes out from Kudermetova. And it's 3-2. Paolini with a set and a break. Back in the day, not much was streamed. It was whatever was on TV. Exactly, yeah. They probably thought it was funny. Yeah, they're like, hang on a second. Is this you? All right. 3-2. 3-2. Two of our schoolmates went to the cricket and got in trouble the next day, spotted in the uniform. Classic. By the way, apparently the US Open draw is coming out now for the mixed doubles. For the mixed doubles. Only the mixed doubles. Just want to make that clear. The mixed doubles. That's going to be coming out probably in the next hour. All right. Setting a break. Paolini cruising. At the moment. Ooh, so the big boss of the ATP has come out and done a Q&A. Talking about 1000s and stuff. Interesting. Let me have a read what he says. Have a look. So they asked the question, what so somebody asked, what about when top players miss big events, like Sinner and Alcaraz not playing Toronto? And the big boss said, withdrawals are a part of the sport, especially in one physically as tennis. Had deep runs at Wimbledon and Roland Garros. Credible achievement. So he's been pretty generous to them. That's fair enough. I mean, he's understanding. Does he actually talk about 2-week Masters? Did anyone specifically ask him that? Here we go. Cincinnati first edition as a 12-day event is launching in parallel with its new facilities. How important is that for infrastructure? Okay, that's not. Nobody cares about that. That's not what I thought it was. What are the impact of the rest of the calendar and player schedules? The expanded format does increase time on site. This is the ATP president. What is it? President? And that's a real consideration. But it also unlocks the revenue potential needed to elevate the entire tour. Reforms like these were debated at length with the Player Advisory Council with the board over several years. So this is like they didn't just go, hey, we're doing the 2-week Masters for no reason. One of the clear strategic goals is to provide more money for the more players. We've done it with the expansion of expanding from 165 to 300 player in the player pension. Prize money challenges has gone up since 2022. And we've had big events with big stages, bigger draw sizes, and drive the commercial engine of the sport. Just look at what's happening. Record bonus pools, 9-figure infrastructure projects in Rome, Madrid, Shanghai, Cincinnati. None of this happened without the breathing room provided by a 12-day window. It's allowed promoters to reinvest and enabled a 50-50 share of profits. That's money flowing straight back into the locker room. As Paolini holds, 4-2, some of the current tension undoubtedly lies in the different time horizons. We must think long-term. Give this model 5 to 10 years, and I believe the 1000s will have grown exponentially across all metrics, and we'll look back at this move as the foundation of that shift. So like I said, chat, 2-week Masters are not going away. They're going to give it time for us to get used to it as fans, but also for them to kind of figure out the best schedule. The 2-week Masters are not going anywhere. 5 to 10 years, especially because the boss is saying, give this time, like telling us to give it time. Like, you know, it's good. More money is good for everybody. That's what he's saying. And then somebody asked, there's been a lot of debate about the length of the schedule, calendar complexity, and player fatigue. What's your view? And the boss said, across many sports, that's a clear trend toward more competition, just like in soccer. With the expanded Club World Cup launched in summer, our calendar is complex. It's a long season, and going deep week after week is demanding. But this is an individual sport. One player might be out the first round, another is lifting the trophy after the final. Finding a solution that works for both ends of the spectrum is never straightforward, and you cannot build a calendar around just a single cohort of players. All cohorts must be considered. Our goal at the ATP is to extend the off-season. Proper rest benefits everyone, players, fans, and the quality of competition. But we can't act alone. Tournaments own their own licenses, and any structural change requires alignment. We're in active discussions now, and I'm optimistic about the direction we're heading. That's interesting. So maybe they'll shorten the season. Maybe. One point that's overlooked: players choose their own schedule. The freedom is rare in professional sports. That freedom is rare. I don't know about that though. Like, yeah, okay, they choose their own schedule, but also I don't know if that's 100% accurate. But yeah, I mean, it's 100% not accurate. They do 30-15, but also like, I mean, they have to play certain events, and if they don't play certain events, then it will result in bad, like, yeah, result in their ranking dropping. It's the whole thing. I mean, I don't think it's as simple as like, yeah, they could just pick and choose what they want to play, but yeah, but. And he said, and finally, we should be clear: the ATP does not control the entire calendar. We work around Grand Slams and Davis Cup and other fixed events. That's exactly why One Vision proposes a unified governance model, bringing all stakeholders to the table so we can have a coherent, sport-wide decisions around things like the calendar. And that is, I do agree on that. They all need to be on the same page, right? They all need to be. The Grand Slams do have all the power, really. And the ATP have to work around it, and that's why we get these Monday finals, because the US Open can't move back a week, because they don't want to move back a week. Or the Wimbledon can't move at all. The Grand Slams are where they are. They don't move. So the ATP do their best. But yeah, interesting to hear from the CEO. But also, I've read most of that before. That wasn't anything super new. They get penalized for missing certain events. So it's not that I don't think they get fined. Well, they might get fined. But at the end of the day, the way I see it, as the return goes in by Paolini, great return, Deuce. The way I look at it is they might not get penalized, like, oh, you don't have to play, but if you don't play, you forfeit those ranking points, and you can't make those points up anywhere else, because the thing that makes mandatory events mandatory is the fact that it's mandatory for your ranking. It's not mandatory to play. Like, you don't have to play. You can take the tournament off. But just know that you're going to get a 0 in your ranking, because the way that the rankings work is around playing a certain amount of events, but also playing key events that are to your rank. So the ranking is and then the ranking drives your, whether or not you get into tournaments or not, if you're not in the top, if you're not at the top. But also, there's players that can play and win everything and then not play everything else and still be number one. But it's for those players that need, they have to play to keep their ranking, let's say ranking in the top 50, so that they can play most events without having to play qualifying. But if you skip a 1,000 because you're too tired, and that's your decision, you're going to get a big fat 0 for that tournament, which might down the track affect your ranking, which then affects your schedule again, because then you've got to go play qualies. It's not as simple as I'm just not going to play and nothing is going to happen. Jannik Sinner can not play Toronto because he's got so many points from everywhere else, so he doesn't need to play Toronto. Same with Sabalenka, same with Alcaraz, right? But the players that need to play those tournaments that maybe shouldn't be playing because they're tired, they kind of need to play those tournaments because it depends on their ranking. If they don't play, their ranking suffers, which means there's a follow-on effect to that. Does that make sense? It's not as easy. It's better for the players that are doing well. They can do whatever they want. But the players that are not doing as well and they need points, it sucks for them, And I'll show you what I mean, because I think if I show you what I mean, it's probably a bit better. Like what I mean by they're mandatory. Again, because, they might get fined. I don't know if there's they get fined. Okay, cool. But, if you need an extra 2 weeks off and you can afford to pay the fine, you'll take that for the extra rest, to keep, because otherwise, you play and then you get injured. But I think it's more, the mandatory aspect is more about that it's mandatory for your ranking. And your ranking will suffer if you don't play, if you decide to take 2 weeks off or take a rest, right? So the ATP rankings are based off a 20 tournaments that are all combined to then produce your ranking points, right? So if you play 30 tournaments, only 20 of them count, right? So the more you play doesn't really help you. You can't just play every week and then, accrue all these points. It's only within the 20 best things you've done, right? If you play 25 tournaments, then the 5 worst results don't count, right? So that's how it works. And that's only if they don't qualify for the ATP finals. So it's 19 events unless you qualify for the ATP finals, which is a bonus points, right? Where is that? Here it is. Where's that list? There was a really cool graphic that I want to show that shows the breakdown of everybody's points and how it and how it sort of looks. Here we go. Found it. And we'll get back to the match. I know that people are. This is just something that like is very important, but also very. It's a very unique part of the sport, and what the mandatory means. So you can see there that there's all these categories, right? So you've got the Grand Slams. If you don't play a Grand Slam, there's, like I said, there's 19 tournaments that all sort of create your ranking, right? So you've got 4 Grand Slams. They're in your rank. You must play those. Like if you don't play one of those, then you're going to get a big fat 0, right? But then there's mandatory events. There's the Masters 1000s. So that's why they're mandatory. So if you don't play, Alcaraz got a big fat 0. He didn't play Madrid, big fat 0. So whereas you got someone like a Shelton, he played them all, right? Because he wanted those extra points, needed those points. So there's everything except for Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo is the only one that is not mandatory. And then you've got the best other 7. So if you Monte Carlo, like Alcaraz here, 1,000 points, 500 points from smaller tournaments. So really everything from 500 is you can't play 2,500 events and add all the points up. They're only going to pick the best 10 of the rest. So that makes sense, how the rankings work. And that's what mandatory means. So it's not mandatory because, oh my God, I'm going to get fined $1 million. It's mandatory because if I get a big fat 0, especially, and it doesn't matter so much for these guys because these guys, Sinner and Alcaraz, are so high up in the rankings. It matters for the players like down here, right? So like someone like an Auger-Aliassime or even these guys, it probably matters more for like people that are like 80 in the world. If you get a big fat 0 when you could have got those 10 points or 50 points, 10 points when you're number 80 in the world is a big deal. That could put you up, that could really put your ranking high. Or, 50 points here when you're, could be the difference between 100 in the world and, 70 in the world. Like there's a lot of, like those points really matter for those lower ranked players. So again, that's where the mandatory part comes in because if you don't play, you're going to get a 0. So you kind of have to make that decision like, well, do you take the rest? And yeah, you might just go play 2 matches and then you can rest for the rest of the tournament if you want. But it's still like going to that event, moving all your stuff, you're not resting. You're going to another city, another plane, it's not relaxing. You got to do all that stuff. Or do you take the 0 and you stay home and you rest back at home and recover at home and then go and play again? Like that's the decisions that you make. But that's why I don't really agree with like the players choose their schedule. It's like, yeah, but they also have to obey these rules. They have to play by these rules. Otherwise, yeah, some of the lower ranked players might be like, I'm not going to go play Cincinnati. I'll just go play a 250 event in 3 weeks. But that 250 event might not count towards their ranking because the Cincinnati will be 0. So they can't replace the 0 with anything. It's a 0. It's a fat 0 and you can't change it. Make sense? Does that make sense? I know it's super confusing. Now the last part, and I'll move on. We'll watch the rest of this match. The reason why they have mandatory events, why don't they just get rid of them? Well, because they also don't want the tournaments. They want the ATP and the WTA want the tournaments to have the best players. They want to kind of have an agreement with them, like, okay, we want to provide you with our best players so that you have a good tournament. Canada last week, unfortunately, didn't have a lot of players because of the withdrawals. So they kind of need to kind of penalize players for not playing so that then, not that they're forced to play, but then the ATP can go, we can guarantee that you're going to get the best lineup available. And if they don't play, we're going to, then they're going to, get penalized for it. They're like, it's because otherwise if nothing was mandatory and they got to do whatever they wanted, players wouldn't play events. They'd just be like, I'm not going there. And they just not play. And then tournament suffers, and then, yeah. So they kind of have to have this mandatory rule to make the tournaments play. Like, it's a weird, like, it's not simple. It's not simple. Anyways, 15:30, Paolini's about to make the final to take on Swiatek. As the return goes in to the back end of Kudermetova, and then Paolini puts a forehand in the net, 30-all. Are there mandatory 500? On the ATP, no, but on the WTA, there was a rule. They might have changed it now, but there was a rule that you had to play 6. You had to play 6. I don't know if that rule stayed, but that was also a rule that you had to compete at 6 of them. But I don't know if that's still a rule this year. It was last year that was a rule. As we had a fault second serve. I'm not sure on the ATP if there's a minimum requirement, but I know on the WTA there was. All right, 30-all. It was served now the forehand of Paolini. Forehand from Kudermetova. Again, the backhand of Paolini is Kudermetova forehand cross. Paolini gets on the stretch. Kudermetova. Again to the forehand of Paolini. Is Paolini in the net, 40-30. So yeah, so it is a little bit like... It's not as easy as just saying, well, players can choose what they want to do. You know, they can, but it's not without consequence. Like, it's not like, oh yeah, I can just stay home for an extra 2 weeks and nothing changes. Like, nothing, I can get away with nothing happens. It's not really. It's a little more complicated than that. You know, but that's where it always sounds weird when you hear, well, they can do what they want. You know, they pick the... And whenever someone in the chat comes in and says, well, they didn't have to play. They could have just, they bet to choose. Yes and no. It's not without... Yapathon. Yeah, bro. What are you talking about? It's called tennis talk. Literally talk. Yap. It's tennis yap. What are you talking about? Brandon. What are you talking about, Brandon? Come on, Brandon. Why don't you yap along? Come on, Brandon. Yap with us. Come on, Brandon. It's called tennis yap. What if they get injured? Are they penalized in the same way? Yes. The only difference... no. Yes, maybe. So the only difference is... that they do get a 0, because as you saw there, Alcaraz didn't play Madrid, he got a 0. And he was injured. So, I guess it depends on... yes, they do get penalized for not playing even if they're injured. Like, they can't... I don't think there's... Unless there's a rule that they can replace that. If you withdraw from a tournament with an injury... they can replace that point. I don't know if there's a rule for that. If like one of the, stop the yapping. No. So I don't know if there's like a replacement. Like if they replace those points for certain things. I don't think they do. I think if you're injured or you just choose not to play, you get a 0. I don't think there's like a rule. There might be though, but I'm not sure. Thanks for the update, no worries. That's what we're here to do. All right, Paolini set for the match. Chat, shut up, all right? Shut the hell up. We're watching this tennis. Stop asking me questions. You get me in trouble. People getting pissier than chat because I'm talking too much. You got to stop asking me good questions. Stop asking me detailed questions, all right? Yap more. No, I will not yap. 15 love as that goes out from Kudermetova. Tennis yap. That's what it is. That's what streamers do. Don't you gotta, if you watch, don't you watch streamers? People that stream talk. That's their job. We don't talk. It's awkward. Paolini hits it out, 15-30. 15-30. See, chat, how awkward was that? 15-30. As we return into the forehand of Paolini. Backhand from Kudermetova. Paolini backhand into the backhand of Kudermetova. Paolini forehand again. The slice of Kudermetova. Paolini forehand again. In the net. 15-40. Is this the first break points? It is. First break points against Paolini. And I'll tell you why, chat. Because she might be a little nervous. All right, 15-40. I know that sometimes injured players schedule themselves and play one match on the draw. Yeah, probably to avoid the penalties. Anyways, return goes in the forehand of Paolini. Forehand of Kudermetova again. The forehand of Paolini. Kudermetova into the net. One save. 30-40. 30-40. You were wrong about Swiatek, Cam. Underestimate Swiatek at your peril. Oh, no. 30-40. As Paolini serves. Into the back of Kudermetova. Return goes wide. And we get to deuce. We get to deuce. 2 points away. Paolini from making the final of Cincinnati. As the return goes into the forehand of Paolini on the stretch. Kudermetova down the line. Paolini's there with the backhand, but it's in the net. Advantage, Kudermetova. If you play a 1,000 match and lose, do you get points? Yeah, you get 10 points for a first-round loss. So yeah, you get points if you play and lose. You still get points. You get points for showing up. And like I said, 10 points is a lot if you're outside the top 100. As the return goes in the forehand of Paolini, and Paolini hits it long. We're back on serve. What the hell? Chad, I was talking too much. What happened? All right. All right. You went on a 10-minute tangent talking about something that everybody knows about. That's called yapping. Yeah, I know what yapping is. I call it educating. That's what I like to call it. Chat. One in the chat if you knew all of the things I just said. Two in the chat if you learned something. Maybe I was just talking to... Hey, chat, if you all knew that, you should have told me to shut the hell up 10 minutes ago. All right, 5-5. Good serve from Kudermetova, 15 love. All right, so a lot of people didn't know. I learned a lot. Okay, good. Yay. I zoned out. Okay, fair enough. That's all right. Fair enough. All right, so a lot of people didn't know everything about that. They'd learned something. Cool. That's good. All right, then I will yap. I will yap. As long as it's educational. All right, 30 love. We're going to serve now the backhand of Paolini, backhand of Kudermetova to the backhand of Paolini, Kudermetova backhand again, to the backhand of Paolini, Kudermetova again with the backhand, to the backhand of Paolini. To the backhand again from Kudermetova to the backhand of Paolini, Kudermetova into the forehand of Paolini as Kudermetova goes to the backhand again of Paolini. Drop shot, Kudermetova in the net, 30-15. You would have been a great professor Look, it's not too late for me. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I am. I just need a lab coat. And then I could be the professor. I'll be the professor of tennis. 30-15. As Kudermetova serves. To be fair, Cam, you can talk about whatever you like. It's your channel and people shouldn't be rude. No. They've got a point. 30-15. As the return goes out by Paolini. 40-15. You do have a whiteboard. That is true. All right. 40-15. Kudermetova holds. 6-5. Now Paolini's going to serve to stay in the set. She was serving to get to the final not that long ago. 6-5. 6-5. Exactly. I can see Cam as a teacher of an unruly high schoolers. Well, that's what this is. I'm basically... this is a classroom and I'm the teacher and the class is the chat. Everyone in the chat is in the classroom. We teach tennis here. It's a tennis school. Tennis 101. I mean, I have a whiteboard. I mean, chat, do you think this is an accident? Chat, come on now. This is here for a reason. It's just a very, scuffed class, all right? It's a very, it's just not a very, as professional as, a university or a college. But I wear glasses. I wear my glasses. Maybe I should put that in my bio. Professor of tennis. Tennisology, exactly. Professor of tennisology. That is my unofficial title. I've just given myself that title, so that's fun. Okay, let's see if Paolini can get to the tiebreak. You need a cap and a gown to go with the whiteboard. A gown? I don't know if I did a gown. I think just a lab coat. Like a 1960s professor. Wearing a lab coat or... I need a blazer or something. All right, let's see if Paolini can get to the tiebreak. As the backhand goes in the backhand, Kudermetova, forehand from Paolini is a winner. 15-love. 15-love. As the return goes in the backhand of Paolini, forehand from Kudermetova is a winner, 15-0. Yeah, Valentino, I think that was maybe an accident. I'm looking, I don't think you did anything. I think it might have just been an accident. Oh no, you were spamming. You were copying and pasting the same thing. So it might have just been a copy paste thing. Try not to write the same thing over and over. And it'll be fine. 15-0. As we serve to the backhand of Kudermetova. Forehand from Paolini. Again, the forehand of Kudermetova. Kudermetova hits it out. 30-15. All right, 30-15. I'm here for live scores, commentary, industry intel, and occasional banter. Thank you, Donna. I don't know if I have any intel. I just watch a lot and read a lot. I don't know if it's intel. Ace down the tee, 40-15. 40-15. As we're backing out from Paolini into the forehand of Kudermetova. Kudermetova in the net. All right, tiebreak. Here we go. Paolini, even though she was serving for the match, she still might be able to get out of here in straight sets. This is their 5th meeting. They played 4 times, 3-1 in favor of Kudermetova. They haven't played for 4 years. They played once in the last 6 years, and that was in Cincinnati in 2021. Kudermetova got the win. So it's been a long time since they played. A lot's happened since they played. I'm going to go Paolini in the tiebreak. Who's winning the tiebreak, chat? As the backhand return goes in the net from Paolini. 1-0. Do you think Swiatek and Paolini are withdrawing from the US Open doubles? Nah, Paolini will play. Swiatek will also probably play. No, I think Swiatek might withdraw. Swiatek could withdraw. But I think Paolini's going to play because her and Musetti are playing. And she's a doubles player. Like, she's a real doubles player. So I think she would play. I don't think... I wouldn't be shocked if Swiatek withdrew. But I guess they're waiting for this match to finish before they give the draw out because they're probably going to ask Paolini after this match, are you going to play? So they're probably waiting for this match to end before they release the draw. Because they don't want to release the draw and then amend the draw tomorrow, right? Whereas I think, after this match, we'll know who's going to play the mixed doubles or who's committed. I don't think Paolini's going to withdraw, though. Unless something happens that she can't play, unless something happens. Anyways, 1-1. As a return goes in from Kudermetova on the return winner. 2-1. 2-1. So Sabalenka didn't withdraw, but Dimitrov did. So her team withdrew. And she didn't want a new partner, so she said, "No, I'm not going to play." But I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I would be kind of surprised, but it would be cool to see her team up with Sinner. But I don't think he's not playing either. So, anyways, 3-1 Kudermetova. Cam, please lock in. He's not listening to me. No, I'm ignoring you because you're complaining. No, I saw you. Say, "Please lock in, please." But now I'm talking to you, so now I'm distracted. I can't reply to you and lock in. I mean, ace down the tee, 4-1. I can't reply but also watch the match and then also yap. 4-1 Kudermetova. It's only 1 mini break though. Yeah, Sinner was supposed to play with Navarro, but Navarro withdrew. So Sinner had up until today to pick a new partner and play, but I haven't heard anything, so he's probably not going to play. 4-1. As the return goes in the forehand, Paolini, Kudermetova with a passing shot, goes in. Paolini gets it back though, and she's on the baseline, forehand to forehand rally. As Kudermetova in the net, 4-2, they change ends. 4-2. I think the mixed doubles experiment is doomed to fail. They should just restore the normal mixed doubles. Well, see, the thing is, Timothy, I think the only way it's a failure is if it financially does worse than last year's mixed doubles. I don't think the mixed doubles, we might all look at it and go, "Man, this is a mess. This is terrible." But I don't think they're judging. I don't think the US Open and the USTA, I think the only thing that matters to them at the end of the day is, did this mixed doubles make more money than last year's mixed doubles? And if they did, if it's been more press, more people watching it, it's a success. They're not looking at it as like what we are when we're like, well, is it a good tournament? Is it a good event? Is it something that players would play next year? Like, they're not doing any of that shit. They're just like, how much money did it make? How much money did it last week? Okay. And I think it's that. That's the first thing. If it makes more money, it's a success. Doesn't matter anything else. Nothing else matters for that. That's what it's not free. I don't think it's free. I think you have to pay ticket. You have to buy tickets on the website. 5-2 Kudermetova. Which is a shame that if that is the the first thing that matters is like, oh, did it make more money? Yes. Okay. It was great then. Like, yeah, but that's not for us. For the fans, was it good enough for us though? I don't know. I mean, if people went and paid for tickets, then yeah, it was good enough, I guess. We're going to watch it, so I mean, it's already working. Backhand slice. Goes in the corner, Kudermetova. Paolini with a passing shot in the net. 6-2. Kudermetova with 4 set points. It feels like a group project at school where nobody did anything and the presentation goes terribly. Yeah, but also then they sell the idea and get a lot of money, so we might not like it, but it's also like, yeah, I mean, look, I don't think I haven't seen one person really say that they're excited for it as a fan. As that goes out on the return, we're going 3. Kudermetova, good serving in the tiebreak, gets her to the 3rd. We're going 3. Swiatek's probably loving this because she's like, all right, cool, I get to play somebody who has to play a long match now in the final tomorrow. Yeah. Look, the mixed doubles, I'm more interested to see who plays next year. I'm more interested who comes back. Because the first one's always going to be a novelty, right? But who comes back to do it next year? Because if the big names don't play next year, then it's not going to last very long. Because the reason why it's so much, I mean, the big draw card is Alcaraz and Raducanu, right? Those two are the reason why it's way more. There's way more talk about it. But are they going to play every year? Are they going to be able to get the same players play next year? It's going to be the longevity. It might be great for like this year. And also it's new. So we're all like, oh, what is this? People are interested because it's new. But if we watch it and it's not good, then people won't watch next year, right? So it's got to be a good product too this year. But I'm sure it'll be profitable this year. Because it's new, it's different. The names are playing, all that stuff. But next year, is it going to be good next year? The second and third year, are people going to want to play it? Is it going to be something that the singles players decide, I need to put this in my schedule? Or is it going to be something that goes, nah, this is a distraction, I can't afford to play this because I don't want to waste my time. We'll find out. The prize money's worth it though. I mean, you can't say that winning the US Open mixed doubles isn't worth the money, but again, the players that don't need that or don't want to risk their bodies before a Grand Slam, they're not going to play, right? How will it compare to the United Cup? Well, it doesn't really compare because the United Cup is worth ranking points and you play singles. So it's not the same. It's a different thing. Like, it doesn't really compare. So that's a tough comparison. The fans get extra tenants. It's awesome. Yeah. 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 I mean, again, would we have watched the mixed doubles had they not have changed this format and it been the normal format? Probably not. We wouldn't have watched because one, it's during the time where we're watching the singles, right? So the singles is what we're focused on. We don't even watch the doubles as well, right? Because we're watching all the singles matches. But also it's, out of all the tournaments, out of the big tournaments, right? Singles, doubles, mixed doubles. Unfortunately, the mixed doubles is the least popular of those 5 major events. The wheelchair events and the junior events, I'm not counting in they're in their own category because they've only got. I'm talking about men's singles, women's singles, men's doubles, women's doubles, mixed doubles. Right, those are the 5, I guess, core events on the ATP WTA. The mixed doubles is the one that gets the least amount of traction. Because We don't even watch the men's doubles or the women's doubles unless someone big's playing. And that's not because we don't want to. It's just because there's not enough time. So moving it into a week where nobody's watching anything else is smart. Because if they had done this event during the tournament, like in the 2 weeks, I don't know if we would have watched it. We might have watched Alcaraz, maybe. But we wouldn't have watched all the other mixed doubles event because... So they've made it smart by putting it in a time where we're all kind of not doing anything and there's time to play, right? Yeah, but we probably wouldn't have watched it had it have been, even if it was this format during the tournament, the proper tournament. So look, maybe it's not a bad idea to put it the week before, but you just got to feel bad for the players that rely on mixed doubles as a part of their yearly revenue and yearly paycheck who are not getting an opportunity now because a lot of doubles players are not they're not being given the chance to play doubles. They've been kicked out for the singles players to get a chance to take the big payday. It's that's a shame because doubles players don't earn as much as singles players, and they rely on these tournaments to get that extra bit of extra finance, right? To be able to pay for coaches, pay for travel, pay their bills. That's a shame. And they didn't even get a seat at the table. It wasn't even decided. They didn't get to decide. They didn't get to sit down and go, mixed doubles needs a bit of a boost. How do we do this? It was, we're changing the mixed doubles. Sorry, you're not playing. That sucks. That seems kind of shitty. Maybe they did consult them, but it sounds like from the players that didn't get included and a lot of the top names that played the mixed doubles at Wimbledon and everything, they didn't get the notification until they got an email saying, we've changed the format. They got told when we got told. And that kind of sucks. Considering it was their tournament. But again, we'll see what it does. We'll see if it's good. We'll see if they keep it going. It might not be. It might be terrible. Nobody watched it and they don't do it again. I don't know. But yeah. It might be they might do it differently next year. Maybe they don't rely on all the singles players because, to be honest, singles players are unreliable. They're going to withdraw. They're focusing on the singles. You can't rely on all these singles players to show up. Look how many withdrawals we've had already. So maybe they go, oh, okay, maybe next year we get more doubles people because we know they're going to be there. We can count on them. Maybe they do that. Who knows? We're just going to watch it and find out. It might be the greatest idea of all time, and we just think it's not good because it's different. We, in tennis, we don't like change. We like tradition, and we don't like change. All right. Who's winning this final set? I'm still going Paolini. Paolini did serve for the match. Earlier, at the end of that second set, she was up 5-4. But she did not close the deal, and Paolini got broken. Then we went to a tiebreak, and here we are. We got a forehand to the backhand of Paolini. Kudermetova backhand. Paolini volleys away. And it's 15-love, first point. With the US Open format, award doubles points. So you don't get any points. You get 0 points in mixed doubles. You don't even get doubles points for your ranking. It's mixed doubles is not where you get 0 points. Only prize money. And matches and titles. You don't get any there's no points attached to it because there's no mixed doubles rankings. And you don't get singles ranking points you don't get points for mixed doubles for singles. That's not the same thing. Backhand down the line winner from Paolini, 30-love. So yeah, there would be no points awarded, and it's all prize money and trophies. That's all it is for the mixed doubles. It's a prize money. Maybe that's the reason why the US Open can experiment with it because there's less on the line, I guess. Besides, like I said, besides the fact that there's players that rely on it as part of their yearly earnings. besides that, it's not. You're not messing with the rankings. It's not messing with ranking points. You're not screwing anyone over with that. So it's probably the least. Out of all the events, even the juniors and the wheelchair, wheelchair events, you don't. If you change those up, it would affect more than just prize money. And when you start messing with the rankings, that's when people get real angry. So I guess it's the only event they could maybe pick and change, because it's only going to be the prize money and the doubles players that don't get to play. Whereas the rankings don't change, nothing. They're not messing with the rankings. I wonder if they did this for the men's doubles, I think there'd be a lot more outrage, because it would affect the rest of the season. It could affect the ATP finals, right? And then the ATP would come in and be like, hey, you can't be messing with those doubles now, because that's worth points, which is worth, that's, now that I'm yapping out loud, it makes sense that they would pick the mixed doubles. They wouldn't do it for doubles, because it would be too. Because then you'd have like Alcaraz and Sinner winning the men's doubles, and then they're going to be the ATP finals doubles champions. Like, how does that work? Like, that would be too messy. That would be too messy. See, chat, I learn things when we're live. The professor also learns shit by yapping. All right, 15 love. Kudermetova serves again. Into the back into Paolini. There's a bit of forehand now in the net from Kudermetova. 15-all. This is the thing. There is no mixed doubles tour, so I think it's good to try something new. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's the least, like, they can afford to mess with it more, I guess. It's not as they don't have to get it right, because it doesn't affect as many people, except for, again, those doubles players that don't get to play. Their actions show how they undervalue doubles. Well, that's also a conversation. 15-30, but again, if a mixed doubles team win it, that's like a proper doubles team win it, then I don't think any of us will be saying that it's not good. We'll probably be like, hey, look, the team that won, it doesn't feel like an asterisk slam, which is what some people are calling it. Easier to offend and cheat the mixed doubles play. Yeah, again, that's the shitty part of this whole thing. Is that there is it's not without, as with a serve and volley, Kudermetova 40-30. It's not a victimless, victim, I don't want to use that word, but it's not a victimless change, right? It does affect someone. It's not like, everyone, we're just going to change it. Nothing, it's fine. Everyone's fine. Nothing happens. No, it does. It does matter, There's a lot of doubles players that don't get an opportunity to play an event that is part of their, it's part of their salary, right? 40-30. Plus, also, they beefed it up. And so, they put it up to $1 million for the prize, and you go, shit, well, I'm sure there's a lot of doubles players that would love to have had a chance to play for that, but they don't get the chance. But also, I think the reason the prize money is so high is so they can entice the singles players to want to play. You make it a $500,000 event or a $250 event, $250K, I don't think players are going to play those much. They're not going to risk it. You make it $1 million, and you go, I have to play 4 mixed doubles matches, and I can win $1 million. I'm sure there's a lot of top 10 players in the singles that are going to go, yeah, I'll play 4 matches, $1 million. All right, I'll play. Like that, that's if the prize. That's why the prize money is so high. It has to be, right? It's got to be. But again, we'll watch it, And we will talk about this at length every time we watch a match. We're going to watch it on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's when it happens. All right, 1-1. And we're waiting for the draw to come out because I'm excited to see what we watch, like who plays who, because even if it's mixed doubles, I'm still excited to watch Alcaraz, Mixed doubles, they do 1 million for winning. Yeah. Not usually. Not in the normal tournament. This year they have. Last year the prize money was not $1 million. I don't think it was. Was it? No, last year was not $1 million. Last year, the winner of the mixed doubles won $200,000. So they've $200,000 to $1 million for the prize. In fact, the prize money for the mixed doubles event is more than what the doubles was last year. Doubles got $750 last year. So, yeah. The doubles is worth $1 million this year as well. But yeah. The mixed doubles last year was worth nothing compared to this year. They bumped it up big time. All right, 30 love. Kudermetova in the net. 40 love. Yeah, they quintupled the amount. That's what I was trying to find that word. But now the mixed doubles event is worth the same as the doubles event, which is interesting. Because you've got to play way more matches in doubles than you do in the mixed doubles. Like I said, mixed doubles, you play 4 matches over 2 days. In the doubles, you play over 2 weeks or over a week and a half. And you've got to play probably 6 matches. So that's interesting. Where did the prize money come from? It's a big jump. Yeah, I mean, they bumped up the prize money consistently every year, the US Open. They're the most lucrative event in the world, right? The most prize money of anywhere. So, yeah. Anyway, it's 40-15. I guess the prize money just comes from people, most of the time I think the prize money must come from the broadcast. Selling the rights to the broadcast, that seems to be, ticket sales and, all that stuff happens too. But I think for the most of the time, the money would probably come from, or the extra revenue for the tournament to then give back to the prize money would be from selling the rights to showing the tennis, right? Those things seem to be like in the billions. So maybe they struck a deal and they sold the rights to the tournament to someone, and then they got that extra money. They can go, we can make a mixed doubles event too. But also, again, the amount of people going to the tennis is going up and up and up. The ticket prices, I think, might have gone up, so that helps as well, I guess, because you charge people a little bit more, and same amount of people go, then maybe that helps. Hey, MMA holes, what's up? I think prize money comes from sponsors as well. True, sponsorships. Yeah. So it's all combined. It's all Also, remember they cut out all the lines people, so that probably helped a little bit too, right? Because they got to pay less people. So yeah. So all of the above. Look, chat. They'll never give us a breakdown of these things, but we can just guess. We can just guess and see what's up. Ticket prices are crazy now. I'm gonna wait till the afternoon or evening until the prices drop. Yeah. See, chat, it's weird because going to sporting events is great, right? Not just tennis, but all sporting events. Going to sporting events is great. You get an atmosphere, right? You get to be there. It's like you get to see it in person, right? But there's definitely nowadays so much better watching it on TV with the comfort of your own home, right? So you don't have to deal with anybody. But also the things you hear on the TV, the camera angles, all the technology that goes into it, it's much better to watch sports on TV You lose the atmosphere, you lose all that stuff, that you can't gain at home. But there's it's such a great, watching sports on TV is so good for most part these days. That going to the event, you lose a lot of stuff. I remember when I go to the football in Australia, you don't know who, if you're sitting up the top, yeah, you get the atmosphere of the crowd and there's people screaming, it's crazy. But you lose, you don't know what's going on as much because you're not seeing all different angles and all different cameras, and you don't know my favorite player is not there. Where's my favorite player gone? Oh, they got injured. I didn't see that. You don't get replays. It's a totally different. It's a great experience still, but it's totally different to watching on TV where you get all that information and you're always across everything. You don't miss anything. So I wonder, maybe is that why they made the tickets so high? Because people are more comfortable sitting at home. They're like, I'll just stay home. It's too much effort. So then the people that decide to go have to pay on behalf of the people that are too lazy to go. Sorry, this guy didn't want to go, so you got to pay for his ticket too now. Because the Australian Open ticket price has gone up too. Before, you didn't have to pay for the qualies, and now you got to pay $20 to go to the qualifiers. I think it's $20. Whereas before it was free. So, are they trying to make up for the people that are not going? Also, the Australian Open is so different. People go there, they don't even watch the tennis. Australian Open, people just go there to hang out. It's not even I reckon more than half the people that are at the tennis these days are not even there at the tennis. They don't even know what's going on. They couldn't name 3 players. But something to do, something to do. In summer, something to do. There's nothing like being at a sporting event. Oh yeah, I mean, look, at the end of it, being there and experiencing it, and that is a whole, that is something that forever you could be I was there when this happened, and I remember this and that. It's, yeah, for sure. It's such a core memory, But also it's so easy and you just get so much out of watching the TV coverage these days as well, that it would be some people don't want to do those experiences. They want to stay home, 30-15. $30-15. $30-15. But I think the same thing's happening with cinema and stuff, right? I mean, people aren't going to the movies because they can just wait for it to come out on and watch it on their massive TVs at home. Again, I'll just, that happens too, right? I mean, it's just, home entertainment is so good these days, 40-15. I mean, we're here right now, right? We're not at the tennis. This is a virtual. We're doing this. We're part of the problem. I'm part of the problem now, chat. By the way, if you are in New York, go to the US Open. It's much go to the US Open. At least go one day and then come hang out for the another 15 or 14 days. All right, Kudermetova holds 2-2. Go experience the US Open if you're in New York. This is not an ad. They're not sponsoring me. I wish they would, but they're not. This is free. Go watch them. Just go to the tournament because you'll see a lot of other things. You won't just it's not just about watching one match. The whole venue. You explore the whole place. Go on an adventure. Even if you just do it once. I went to Wimbledon one time, right? I still remember it all. It's great. Remember that forever until I get dementia. It's great. 15 love. As Paolini serves. As the return goes out, goes in by Kudermetova. Forehand Paolini. Again, the backhand of Kudermetova is Paolini backhand. Again, the backhand of Kudermetova. Paolini goes into the forehand of Kudermetova. Again, the forehand of Paolini. Kudermetova backhand down the line again. As with a forehand rally. Kudermetova hits a backhand long, and it's 30 love. We're getting our money's worth today, chat. This was not... Well, this didn't look like it was going to be... It was going to be... go the distance. Oh, hello. Hello. Do you want to say hi to you? Hello. Look, chat, look who it is. It's the sleeping, snoring dog. Ah! What's up? You're hungry, aren't you? All right. I know you're hungry. 30-15. As Paolini serves again. Cam's a premium ticket holder at Wimbledon. Yeah. Didn't you know that? I'm part of the All England Club. I could sit in the Royal Box if I wanted, but I just don't want to. I just want to stay home. I don't want to make the trip over. It's just too long. 24-hour flight. Yeah, I don't want to go to I don't want to be in the Royal Box. I know I could sit next to Roger, but whatever. 40-15. Nearly 2 hours played too, by the way. As a return goes in the forehand of Paolini. Kudermetova in the net with the backhand. 3-2. 3-2. 1 second, chat. Come on. All right. All right. I just checked and it's a 5.5 hour drive. Cam is inspiring me to go. 5.5 hour drive. That's a lot. That's a commitment. I was thinking like if you lived in New York, like you lived an hour away, maybe, 5.5 hours is a mission. So look, if you want to go, more power to you. But 5.5 hours is a lot. That's a commitment. Why not? Do it. Do it once. Who cares? What happened to the idea to stay in Europe during clay and grass season, still considering next year? What happened to the idea to stay in Europe? Wait, what? Oh, me? Me to go to Europe? Or are you saying the tournaments? Yeah, I can't afford that shit. I can't live in Europe for 3 months. Are you talking about? Yeah, I can't afford that. That ain't happening. I need someone to sponsor me and a free place to stay. That's expensive. Backhand rally. Kudermetova. Into the backhand of Paolini. Again, the backhand of Kudermetova. Paolini backhand again to the backhand of Kudermetova. That's a good shot down the line. Paolini can't get it. 15 love. 15 love. $15 love. As Kudermetova serves a fault. Second serve. As the backhand goes into the forehand of Paolini, and then Kudermetova hits it wide. And it's 15-0. Have Airbnb sponsor you? Yeah, maybe. Wouldn't that be nice? I wish they would. Then I'd live on planes and fly wherever the tennis goes. 15-all. Yeah, women's finals tomorrow. It's after the men's final tomorrow. As we're falling down the line of the backhand slice. Oh, Paolini, backhand from Kudermetova in the net. 15-30. Chance for a break for Paolini here. All right. Serve again. 15-30. First serve is a fault. Second serve. Second serve. As we get a double fault. 15-40. 15-40. By the way, Chad, if anyone wants to sponsor my burrito lunch today, that would be lovely. Who wants to sponsor my lunch today? Who wants to be the sponsor of lunch? Oh, Axe. Sorry, I missed it. Axe is the sponsor of the lunch break today. I don't know why I didn't read it out. I'll read it out in a second. 15-40. Thank you, Axe, for the 5. That's half of the burrito. Really. Backhand for Paolini. Into the forward of Kudermetova. She hits it wide. Paolini breaks. 4-2. 4-2. All right, 4-2. Sorry, Axe. I don't know why it's not reading out the name. Reading out things. Where do you live? Also, who do you think will end up with the most Grand Slams? Alcaraz or Sinner? So I live in around the corner from the store. So yeah, but Alcaraz will win more. All right, 4-2. Alcaraz will win more. He's got more time, and he's also got more. I think he's got more weapons, and will be able to, more importantly, beat Sinner more. If he just figures out a couple of things. We talked about this yesterday, how Sinner right now is untouchable, it feels, except for when he plays Alcaraz. But if Alcaraz can just tweak a couple of things, he could be so much scarier than he already is. 15, love. Yeah, I need lunch money. Give us your lunch money, please. 15-all. 15-all. Serve again. As we get a backhand from Kudermetova. Great passing shot winner. 15-30. 15-30. All right, 15-30. Alcaraz has more potential to go for more. Yeah. Like, we're trying to figure out the other day, how does Sinner get better? And it feels like right now, he doesn't have any weakness, but also feels like Alcaraz, the only weakness he has is when he plays a player with variety, right? And we'll talk about this more tomorrow when we watch it in real time. We already know that Alcaraz has a lot of things that he could improve on, or even just things that he could make better. Like, it's not even he needs to be better. Like, that's the same thing as improve on. Okay, idiot. Alcaraz is still raw, whereas Sinner feels like he's polished in the final product, right? Like, I don't know if, maybe stamina for Sinner, but like, it doesn't feel like Sinner really has that much more need for improvement. He seems pretty perfect at the moment. Besides playing against variety, Alcaraz, Whereas Alcaraz, we're like, yeah, he could do this, he could do that, he needs to do this. If he just does this a little bit more and a little bit less of this, like there's definitely a lot more work for Alcaraz to get better. And they're already like here, right? So if Sinner doesn't have anywhere else to go and Alcaraz can get better, then I think he's going to be better and therefore win more. And he's already got the clutchness. We've seen that against Sinner already. Kudermetova to win a deuce. But yeah. So I think Alcaraz. But then again, they could both get 12 or 15 each. It could be like a Navratilova versus Chris Evert, where one player denied the other player of more, but so did they also stopped them from winning more. So like they could end up on the same, really. It could both be on they could both end on the same amount. They could and we've already seen it. They're both already stopping each other from winning more than they should. I mean, Alcaraz could have 10 if Sinner wasn't around. Maybe not 10. He could have had 7. Anyways, backhand slice. Into the forehand of Kudermetova. She puts it away. Advantage Kudermetova. So they're gonna rob each other. Steal slams off each other. But I don't know. I just think that... I don't know. I just think Alcaraz has got more... higher ceiling. But I just think he's got... Right now, and maybe we don't know yet what Sinner's capable of because we haven't seen him be pushed to get better for a couple years now. So, obviously he got pushed to get better at the end of 2023. 2024, 2025, he's played this amazing level. We don't think he can ever get better, but it's probably because nobody's making him get better. He doesn't have to get better. He only has to get better against one guy who's Carlos Alcaraz, right? And after Wimbledon, maybe he is starting to get... If he starts to beat him more, then that helps. But how does it... Sinner can't get any better, right? But Alcaraz can. And then maybe if he does, then Sinner will have to force himself to get better some other way that we don't know. Somewhere else in his game that we didn't know was holding him back. Like, it'll be really... It's going to be so fun to watch. So it's crazy we're having this conversation like when Nadal and Djokovic only just stopped playing or stopped competing. Like Djokovic-Nadal rivalry just ended. Yet we're having this conversation about these two guys. About these two guys who are already generational talents. And we didn't think we'd have this. We thought when the GOATs retired, we'd be waiting a long time before we could talk about two guys that were better than everybody else. So we're very lucky that this has happened. Anyways, advantage Paolini. We'll talk about it more tomorrow when we watch it. Forehand now from Kudermetova to the forehand of Paolini. Kudermetova backhand into the backhand of Paolini. As Kudermetova forehand down the line, Paolini just scrambling for a slice and it goes wide. And we get back to deuce. We don't know. Let's just see how their careers unfold. Well, that's the beauty of it. We're all just guessing, aren't we? We're all just guessing because who knows what's going to happen? So many things could happen. We have no idea. And it's just going to be fun to watch. Like, chat, if I say Alcaraz is going to get more slams and Sinner gets more slams, I do not care if I'm wrong. Because I know it's going to be fun to watch both. Like, I'm not going to sit back in 10 years and be like, oh, man, gosh, I look so stupid. Like, I'm not going to care. If Sinner goes on and wins 20 slams and Alcaraz wins 12, well, I don't care. Because they're both amazing. They're both great. As that goes to the net from Paolini. And it's advantage Kudermetova to get back on serve. Advantage Kudermetova. It seems like Sinner is improving and Carlos is almost at his peak, but I don't know. No, I think it's the other way around. It feels like Sinner's at peak right now and Alcaraz has it. I think it's the opposite. Sinner feels like he's near perfect. All right, advantage Kudermetova. As with a fault second serve. Chat's going to find you if you're wrong. Good luck. I'll be long gone. You can't find me. I'll be on the moon. I'll be on Mars. You can't find me. Good luck. Knowing my luck, I'll get on the flight to Mars and somebody will say, hey, I know you. You do the tennis. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. I've never been recognized in my life. And then someone's going to turn around and be like, on the flight to Mars, we got 3 years on this flight. Hey, you're the guy on the tennis. Yeah. Didn't you say Alcaraz was better than Sinner? Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Get me off this plane. All right, Deuce. As we return down the line from Kudermetova. That's a winner. Advantage. Kudermetova to get back on serve. Advantage Kudermetova. To get back on serve. Paolini did have a break in the second set too and got broken. As the return goes to the back of the Paolini, Kudermetova passing shot is a slice, but it's in the net. Back to Deuce. Back to Deuce. Back to Deuce. Swiatek would be loving this. Just seeing how this is playing out. All right, Deuce. As we return now to the forehand of Kudermetova. Slice from Paolini into the forehand of Kudermetova. Paolini backhand. Again to the backhand of Paolini as Kudermetova goes to the backhand and Paolini puts a winner down the line on the backhand side and it's advantage. Paolini, by the way, chat, I'm getting a Danish pastry after this match. I'm going to walk down to the bakery and I'm going to eat I'm going to get a Danish pastry. I'm addicted, chat. They are so good. A blueberry Danish pastry with custard. That is going to be my snack. Anyways. And I'm going to get a coffee, maybe. Maybe I'll get a coffee. It's freaking cold, so maybe I'll get a coffee. Another one. They're delicious. Anyways, backhand return. Into the backhand of Paolini. Forehand from Kudermetova. Goes out. 5-2 Paolini. She hangs on to the break. 5-2. Because I can't have a burrito now. It's 7 in the morning. Well, I can, but I'm also not going to. It's too early for... I'm going to have to have a burrito like later. After lunch. No McGriddle? Nah. I'm trying not to ruin McGriddles for my... Like, McGriddles are one of those foods where, like, if you have too many, you're going to hate them. I'm not going to risk hating McGriddles. If I get a McGriddle today, I will start to not like them. I got to pace myself on those McGriddles. They're so good that, but they could easily be ruined. What time do I sleep? What do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, you got to have the McGriddle in moderation, so that way you don't get sick of it. For real, we have Danish town in California has the best bakeries. Guava cream cheese Danish. Ooh, delicious. Just played tennis, having a burrito. Yeah, Xavier, love that. Love that. What other flavors do they have? I think they've got an apricot custard one and then the blueberry. But the blueberry is so good. The berry is so good. What kind of heat does your house have, Cam? Just a heater. Just a wall heater. What is my sleep cycle? It's terrible. My sleep schedule is psychotic. It is not. It is definitely not advised. I do not recommend. 5-2. As that goes out by Paolini on the return. 15 love. Ooh. I'm going to have to find a Polish bakery. Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. Go to a Polish bakery. They got different food there too. What are those like? They've got these things. I can't remember what they're called. Like, they're like pastries that they like roll up and they're like spirals. And they're like pastry. What are they called? I've had those. Are delicious. Can't remember what they're called. But they like, you make the dough and then you put it in a big long line and then you put chocolate on it and then you roll it up and then you put it in the oven. What are they called? Those are delicious. Yeah, like snail. They've got like cocoa snails, but I'm sure they got a better name. Probably got a cool name for them. Not croissants. There's something else. Not cannoli. Not scone. No, they're Polish or Hungarian. Hungarian. What are they? What are those? Those are delicious. I've had those before. It's not Polish. Okay, well, shit. My bad. What are those called anyway? I want to know because I want to get one. 30-15. They're not a cinnamon roll. It's got some fancy ass name. All right, 30-0. Chance for Paolini to win this semi-final. Whew. 30-15. So 30-0. It was 30-15. As we serve. Into the back of Paolini. Return goes into the net. 40-30. Is a European or US Open swing harder for your sleep? US is way harder. Way harder. $40-30. European swing is so easy in comparison. As the backhand return goes to the forehand, Paolini. Kudermetova hits a forehand winner, though. And it's 5-3. 5-3. Kudermetova holds. Paolini's going to serve for the match. $5-3. Why don't you stay in the US during the US swing? Because I can't afford it. I cannot afford to do that. But if I could, I would. But I can't. Because I cannot. As the return goes in the backhand of Paolini, backhand out from Kudermetova. Goes out, 15 love. $15 love. Serve again. Into the forehand of Kudermetova. Paolini forehand. Into the forehand of Kudermetova. Lob goes up from her, but it's long, wide, and it's 30 love. 2 points away from the final. 30 love. No worries, Kimberly. We'll see you later. Thanks for joining. All right, 30 love. As the return goes in the forehand of Paolini. Backhand of Kudermetova to the forehand of Paolini as Kudermetova goes to the backhand of Paolini. Kudermetova back on the stretch. Into the backhand of Paolini. Kudermetova goes down the line. Off the tape goes into the forehand of Paolini as Kudermetova forehand in the net. 40 love. 40 love. Paolini. Match points to take her spot in the final of a 1,000 event again. Made a few finals. She won a couple of titles too. And to play Swiatek tomorrow. I think like this time tomorrow too. Serve. Into the corner, Kudermetova. She hits it out. All right. There it is. Paolini went the long way around, but she gets it done. And she's into the final. She stops Kudermetova. Kudermetova had a great run. A lot of ranking points added to her total. Paolini's into the final, though. Swiatek Paolini. Tomorrow night. What does that look like? We'll find out. All right. I'll tell you this, Chad. If anybody doubted Paolini as a top 10 player, how can you now? I mean, yeah, okay, you could say that, maybe she was a little bit, a little bit fortunate to make back-to-back finals of slams. But she's proven since the Wimbledon final last year that she deserves to be top 10. She is a top 10 player. She can beat top 10 players. She can win big trophies. She makes the big finals, even though she hasn't made a Grand Slam final. She's a top 10 player. There's no doubt about it now. You can't doubt that. She is definitely worthy of her spot. There is no doubt about it. All right. She really is. Yeah. She's better than Zhang, in my opinion. I mean, she's more consistent at the moment. I think Zhang's going to eventually, be more consistent. But yeah, right now, Paolini is doing better than Zhang. Yeah, she won Rome and now she made the final here. Exactly. By the way, if you are leaving, don't forget to subscribe on the way out because we are going to be back tomorrow for all the finals. And it's going to be a big day tomorrow. Do you think the last year's two slams final will be lucky? I don't think lucky is the word. But some people are saying that, at the start of the year, people would comment that Paolini wasn't top 10. That she wasn't a top 10 player. That her ranking was a lie. Now she's proven that is not the case. She definitely is a top 10 player. She deserves that ranking. And yeah, she's consistent. And that's what helps with your ranking. If you're consistent, you get rewarded in the rankings. Unless you win a Grand Slam and don't do anything else, then you might get to be in the top 10. But you don't get to stay in the top 10 for 2 years if you're not consistent. Paolini's like the root of the WTA? Yeah, a little bit. And he's very consistent. So, he was until he had to pull out of tournaments and didn't, he's dropped now, but yeah, that's probably a good comparison. Sort of the Casper Ruud of the WTA a little bit with consistency. Paolini is no fluke, if you ask me. Those final slam appearances were her hitting her stride. Oh yeah, for sure. But once she did that and had a great run. But then I think again at the start of this year, a lot of people would comment about. I would see a lot of comments, not a lot of people, just a lot of comments about Paolini not being a top 10 player. She's not really top 10. She won she made those finals, but she ain't going to be here for long. And that's not true. We're seeing now that is not true. She is a top 10 player and she's been in the top 10 since. And she's lost all those points. She's still in the top. She's number 8 now. She's gone up in the rankings. And if she does win tomorrow, she'll be number 7 going to the US Open. So, yeah, I think she is proving that last year was not a fluke. And where is she in the race to the final? She's got to be in the top, at least in the top 10 now, right? To go back to the WTA finals, which would be a huge achievement. Number 9. Ooh, okay. So she's on the brink of top 8 again. It's a very competitive WTA finals though. It's gonna be very tricky. She's gonna have to probably either make another final as well as this final, or win one because you got Sabalenka, Swiatek, Gauff, Keys Andreeva, Anisimova, Raducanu, Pegula, and then Paolini. Like, that's a tough list. That is a tough list. Her and Pegula, they're kind of fighting it out for that last spot. Raducanu there as well. Like, that is a strong list. That is a strong list. Now, maybe one of those players withdraws because of injury. She's going to be playing doubles anyway, so she'll be at the venue, even if she's like the first alternate. But still, that is a rough list to be a part of, because all of those players I mentioned have had multiple good tournaments, Paolini included. Right, she's had a great year as well. But yeah, that's a tough list. That is who do you kick out to make room for Paolini? Again, Pegula's the only one that I think on that list that you'd go, if it was Pegula or Paolini, yeah, okay, it makes sense because they both sort of had moments. But how do you kick out Raducanu or Anisimova? Like, I don't know. How do you get rid of anyone? Andreeva? How do you kick her out for Paolini? I don't know. Andreeva's had a great year. Like, it's such a solid list, such a competitive list as well, right? No worries. We'll see you later, Robin. See you tomorrow. Dark horse territory is the best spot, though. Oh, yeah. For sure. Men's doubles playing next. Nice. If Swiatek wins tomorrow, that will be 5 years in a row where she's won at least 1,000. Cool. Don't kick anyone out. Let Paolini take the spot from someone. Yeah, I'm not saying that we're going to kick someone out. I'm just saying, by her qualifying, she'll kick someone out. So I'm just saying. It's an expression. It's not like actually removing people. It's just an expression. Because for her to get in, somebody has to leave. There's only 8 vacancies. So she can't come in unless somebody leaves. Or she has to kick someone out. It's an expression. Everybody knows that expression, right? Chat, we know that, right? We've heard that expression before. That's just an expression. It's not a real thing, not physical. It's not a literal thing. She's not actually going into like a room full of people and then like grabbing one of them and throwing them. Like, that's not a physical thing. So it's not real. It's like an expression. I used to like Paolini, but now the way that she screams, okay, well, Jesus Christ. Well, sorry that she celebrates. Like, come on. Come on now. It's crazy. Cam, you said top 8 seed is important for the US Open. Oh, yeah, it is. But Zhang's not playing, so being number 9 would have got you number 8 anyway. So she would have been number 7 or 8 anyway, because Zhang's not playing. So I would not be surprised if Alcaraz won tomorrow. Okay. Towson is so strong right now as well. Top 10 worthy. Yeah, maybe. Unpopular opinion, Paolini is the weakest in the top 10. That is unpopular because we just literally talked about how good she is. And I think that is incorrect. Because I think Zhang this year has... I think Zhang would be again, I don't want to say like, we're not going to... I hate saying who's the weakest top 10. It's so stupid. But Zhang is the person. Because she hasn't done anywhere near as much as everybody else. Like, she's the only player in the top 10 that I don't think's made a big final. And her ranking will drop after the US Open because she'll lose points. So the answer is Zhang. But also, I just don't like... Then again, you said unpopular opinion. You're right, it is unpopular because it's wrong. Can opinions be wrong? Yes. Yes, they can. At least that's what everybody tells me. You guys tell me that. No one complains when a man screams. Yeah, they do. but it's just like people have sensitive hearing. Yeah, Zhang pulled out of the US Open, so her ranking is in trouble. I think she might be dropping. I don't know if she's going to drop out of the top 10, but she's going to be close to out of the top 10, Zhang. Also, remember, at the Asian Swing, she's got, I think, a final and a title to defend. So, I think she made the final of, like, Wuhan. No, she made the final of Beijing because she lost to Gauff, right? And then she also won a title, I think, a 500 event. So, I might have made that up. I think I just made that up. Let me check my own knowledge. Let me fact check myself. No, I was right. Doubt me. Doubt me, yeah, sure. Just doubt me, chat. She made the final of Wuhan, lost to Sabalenka. She won Tokyo. Chat. And she made the final of the semis of Beijing. Yeah. Yeah, chat, I didn't make that shit up. What are you talking about? I know what I'm talking about, chat. Come on now. Fact check me. What are you talking about? I know. I know what I'm saying. I'm a professor. But so Zhang's got a lot of points to defend, which if she doesn't come back this year from the elbow surgery, which isn't easy to fight back from, and it's not like a quick recovery. Like she's gonna have to, there's a lot of rehabilitation. If she does come back this year, she's gonna have to defend those points. If she doesn't, she's gonna drop a lot. WTA Finals runner-up as well. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yes. I totally forgot that as well. Yeah, she made the WTA Finals final, which she won't defend because she won't have enough points. So she's already going to lose that as well. Yeah, Zhang could be in the 20s when we get to the Australian Open. That's crazy. And look, I don't think Zhang's playing all year. She might try and come back in China, being at home, but I don't think she'll play all year. I think it's better for her to not rush back and then to come back fresh in the start of the year, and start fresh in Australia, where she made the final a couple of years ago. I think that would be better. Would she get a protected ranking? She would. Would she need it? I don't know. She'd only need it to get into tournaments, but I don't think she needs it. She can't get seeded. Her protected ranking wouldn't help her get seeded, but yeah, I think if she doesn't play until Australia, which again, she might come back next week. I don't know. Well, she won't after next week. But yeah, I mean, these injuries, I don't think she should rush back, especially because she's only 22. Like, there's no point in rushing back from an elbow injury to then re-injure it or, yeah. But yeah, she won't. So her ranking will probably still be in the top 30, I would say. But if she's out for 6 months, she gets a protected ranking anyway, if she needs it. But she might not need it. She might be still in the top 50 or top 30, and her protected ranking might be like 7 or 12, but that doesn't really make any difference, really, because if you're in the top 30, you're making most of the tournaments anyway, right? Yeah, she's losing 430 at the US Open, and then she's losing like, a couple of thousand points for the rest of the year. So her ranking could be like down in like the 50s or 60s, and then she'll need a protected ranking. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, Gene, thank you. We were talking about this at length before. So apparently in the Q&A, I must have missed this. So apparently, in 2026, the number of optional tournaments counting towards players' ranking will be reduced by 1. So the best of the rest will only be 6, not 7, which means that smaller tournaments are getting squeezed out even more because it's discouraging players from from playing those small events, because if they don't need it for their ranking, why would they play them? So thank you. That's I didn't see that in the Q&A, but that's very interesting. I missed that part. Interesting. All right. Well, I think that's all for today. We got our money's worth, though. I mean, we had a great first match. It was a competitive first match. We expected it to be good, and we got our money's worth. And then this match, it was looking pretty straightforward until it wasn't, and then it turned out to be a 3-setter, which we love. So yeah, it's been a good semi-final day. Good semi-final day, unlike yesterday, which was a little bit disappointing. But tomorrow, finals. Starting with the men's final, we've got Swiatek. Tomorrow, we've got the men's final first with Sinner versus Alcaraz. That's happening in the middle of the afternoon. And then the women's final between Swiatek Paolini. So 2 massive finals, 2 top 10 clashes. Who's going to win Cincinnati? The biggest matches before the US Open. And then, of course, the US Open starts in a week. So this time next week, we will be watching the US Open. Yeah. This time next week, day 1 US Open will be underway. So we've got less than a week. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining. 6-3, 6-7, 6-3. Paolini beats Kudermetova. She's into the final of another 1,000. She'll take on Swiatek. I'll see you then. If you're not coming back tomorrow, then you're going to miss out. So just make sure you do come back.